So here's our fresh sheet. The only thing that's changed is I pre-filled in Bard. That way we know we're getting a Bard. We'll collapse this, go back to the personality, and bring up our character, our character generator again. Raven goes into the forest. A mad dryad pops out. 14 and 17. Oh, Raven took care of that. That was easy. And you win 250 EXP. Nice. Whoops. Haha. Wrong command. There we go. That's a little better. Sorry about that. All right. Oh, also, we went over... Hakora, we went over the... For lack of a better term, like the state of the channel and the goals that we have. And that the things that I'd like us to do. In the beginning of the first segment. Part of that is there's an affiliate contest going on right now, where affiliates can send in a 30-second video along with some clips from their channel in order for a chance to be featured on the front page of Twitch. And enough of you have said that we have something really cool going on here, that this is a space to come and jam out. It's positive, but it's not like ham-fisted over the top. You know, that we do good things here. We're storytellers, we're gamers, we're all of that. And yet we're able to keep a really good demeanor to ourselves. And so I wanted to go off of that sentiment that you all had shared with me and say, I think we have this. I think we can showcase ourselves as a community to the rest of Twitch and invite them to come join us. So I'm going to be making that 30-second video tomorrow and try and get some Twitch clips, other things like that to send along with it to showcase who we are and what we do and why and how we do it. So I address that kind of stuff. Anything you can see on our Discord also. All right. Do we have a boy or a girl? Well, a percentile roll will figure that out. 72. We now have a male. We're going to roll a d10 for the race. 8. Oh, that was 2d10. Sorry, let's reset that. Well, actually, we can use that because we're going to roll for the race, and then we're going to roll for odds or evens for the sub-race. So let's play it where it lies. So the first roll was 3 and then 5. The third... Okay, so we're talking halflings, an odd number. We have a stout halfling. There we go. A male stout halfling. And what is his alignment? A percentile roll will tell us because it is distributed out on a curve. 98. And... whoop, that should be 2d100. So he is neutral evil. Ooh. He's the bad boy of the group. Hakora, that's been on your mind also? Well, you know what, Hakora? You know, if you join it, make sure you let us all know, and we can all help support each other. Hey! Peru, you got your dagger. Karma's digging the bad boy of the group here. Alright, well. Goat has dibs. What level is he? This is going to be a percentile roll. 76. 12. We're going to roll percentile one more time to see if we're going to generate any feats for him, or if he's going to take all stat bumps. Pardon, I have some tortilla chips here. 10. Alright. He's just going to take 3 stat bumps. Level 4, level 8, level 12. Do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do. Yes, Peru. It is returned after... it is the prodigal Peruvian dagger. It has come back to you after all this time. And maybe it is whispering secrets in your ear. Raven calls dibs on the elf. Alright. We have fangirls out in the audience. Well, get the band members while you can. We'll make t-shirts for them. Alright, what is his background going to be? This is going to be a D13. 4. Ah, an entertainer. Now, entertainer has the variant of possibly being a gladiator also. So you have entertainer that, you know, juggles, sings, tumbles, breathes fire, something like that. But if we want, we can also make him a gladiator, and that would make him... He knows how to fight, but it's for show. He's a showman. Professional wrestler, right? They are athletes, but they put on a show. There's a script that they follow. They put on makeup. They wear flashy clothes. There's a reason for all that. And do we have to decide right now? No, of course not. Though it's something to keep in mind. Dark Wolf wants dibs on the Tiefling or Dragonborn if we roll one. There's still 3 more characters left over 3 days. Alright. An entertainer has 10 different types of entertainment they can offer. And up to a D3 of this chart. So let's roll a 3-sided dice first. Oh, and we get 3. And so we'll roll a 10-sided die 3 times. He's good at 8, 5, and whatever 8 is, he's really good at 8. We'll have to use our imaginations, or we'll just roll one more time. 8, 5, and 3. There we go. We'll keep those up there as placeholders. Now, for his personality, he is going to get 2d8. Roll it. 1 and 5. Remember, these are just placeholders right now. We are going to come back and fill in what our bad boy knows and does and why he does it. Roll 3d6 for his other parts of his background. 6, 2, and 2. Lastly, we need to figure out his... oh, we know he's a bard. Though we need to determine, is he a Valor or a lore bard? We'll do that with an odd or even. So, I don't know, we'll just roll a d4. 2, even. College of Valor. Ooh. So he's kind of a, he's like a soldier bard. Alright, so... she's College of Lore. She has all, you know, wit and wisdom of years. She sings the sea shanties. He's been in the mix. You know, he's, maybe he's composing, like, metal ballads or something. Anyway, we have a halfling. They're going to start at 2'7", and we're going to add 2d4 inches to him. 3. He is 2 feet 10 inches tall. And we're going to take that same 3, multiply it by 1 pound, and add it to 35. And so if he was just standing there in his skivvies, he is 38 pounds dry. You know, that's not counting his backpack or his weapons or his armor or anything like that. Now let's find out how old he is. That's on a percentile range, 46. That puts him, he is an adult. And for a halfling, right here, right, so there's that. Adult is 3. Between 71 and 110. So that's a D50. Although that should be a D40. 80, 90, 100. Yeah. Looks like that's another tweak that'll have to be made. Anyway. 1. Oh. Alright, so he just hit proper adulthood, not young adulthood. Which is going to put him at... he's 71 years old, and he's still nice and spry with a lot of life ahead of him. Alright, we can get rid of this. We can drop this. Pardon. And then we'll come down to Entertainer. This is going to flash. Here we go. Oh, Eltrion Genesis, welcome to the conversation. Sorry, I was kind of on a roll putting the information down. What is this? Guide to character building. Yes. This is for D&D 5th edition. Yes. And what we do, Eltrion, is these are guides, how-tos. We focus on storytelling, character development. So we will get to things like stats and the mechanics of the character. However, we're going to be building the character from a point of view of giving him or her a personality, a history, things along those lines first. And then we'll let the stats support the story that we've generated for the character. That way it's a little bit more personal. It's a creative, collaborative process. And you know what? If you've never, I don't know if you've played D&D before, Genesis. If you have, or even if you haven't, you are welcome to give your input. You can ask questions and be a part of the process that we have going on here. You know, so if you wonder, oh, well, what does College of Valor mean? Or what's a Stout Halfling? You can ask those questions and I'll be sure to get to them and answer that in detail. And actually, we're going to be coming up to that. We've filled in the outline. We've made a silhouette of our character. We have a basic shape, right? We know it's a male. We know it's a halfling. We've given him some physical descriptors, and we have some placeholders for his personality. Now let's breathe life into him. Let's give him that personality, not just generate RP material. Or like crunch, rules, numbers. Let's go with the fluff. All right, we get acrobatics and performance intrinsically. We are going to be proficient in a tools, a These Guys kit, and an instrument. So we did not give our first character her instrument yet, right? We'll keep that open. And if we think that she's going to be more in tune with something, heck, pun intended, and he's going to be with something else, we'll assign that when the time comes. All right, so we have our instrument. We do get a musical instrument of some kind. He's going to get the favor of an admirer. That could be a love letter, a lock of hair, or a trinket of some kind. Delcorn wants them to have a squeeze box. Well, you know, if we're singing sea shanties, right, we got to have a squeeze box operator. So, karma. If you already have this character as a heartthrob in mind, what kind of a favor would you have given him the last time you saw him? Yeah, he could play the jug. You know, was it something like a love letter, a lock of hair? Or if you want, we could just randomly roll a trinket and it would be something, you know, slightly like odd or off, but unique in its own right. So it's up to you. You can choose something or we can randomly generate a trinket. You would want him to have a beautiful leaf, a pressed leaf. Okay. He has a pressed goat leaf. Eltrion says, I'm currently playing a game. I'm filling in for a group that had a member have to leave due to a change in their job. Ooh, yeah, that happens. I have been thrown in as a level 11 fighter, and I put effort into character building, but that game is pretty much random dungeon exploration and combat, so I'm missing a lot of basic character flavor knowledge. Okay, with that said then, Eltrion, are you... what kind of help or advice can we give you? Do you have specific questions? A lot of us, we're all over the place in terms of being a DM, a PC, in how many years months, days we've been playing D&D, or at least interested in it. So I think you did a good job of setting the tone of what you're currently in. How can we as a community give you ideas or help to set the ship up? Also, Spicy Larry's going into a dungeon, rolls on a 3, and Spicy Larry triggers the alarm and is captured. Yep, rip indeed. Oh, Delcorin saying they could have a jug as their trinket and instrument. That's true, right? You just play it and you get that nice, like that. Hoo, 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 hoo. Someone else plays the washboard, you know, with a wooden spoon. You get the wash tub banjo, right? Raven goes into the forest. You need a 10 or greater to defeat the centaur archer. And Raven, oh my gosh, Raven. Raven with the ones. Yeah, the star just fell, right? Oh no. Well, Raven, if you want to come back, we can try and give you a quick resurrection. But as you know, results are not guaranteed. Res, please. You are dead, but not for long. When the spell ends, you arise to find yourself as a female goblin sorcerer. Seems good. There you go. So you're a cute little goblin. You just have this intrinsic power in your blood in order to cast the magics. Also, he is going to get a costume of some kind, and I'll put question marks because what is his costume going to be? What does he dress up as? He's also going to get a belt pouch, which has 15 GPs in it. Right there, gold pieces, GP. Yeah, there's a couple fun, out of the ordinary choices you could generate into, Karma. All right, so we rolled. He gets 1 to 3 routines on what was below. So this is what our bad boy entertainer does in our band that we're making for the party this week. 8, 5, and 3. He's a singer. He's a juggler. And he's a fire eater. And he plays an instrument. So there you go, Karma. You have a singer, juggler, fire eater. Eltrion says, well, currently I'm just checking out various games to see a bit more about how characters interact with each other and how character backstories can be used by DMs. Stick around then. Definitely stick around. After a bit of research, I realized that my backstory and recent items used to repair my gear could have caused my character some complications had I joined a different game. Oh no. What was unique or offsetting about the items that you had, Eltrion? What were they? Raven says he juggles the fire before he eats it. Then the smoke comes from his mouth as he sings of dragons. Ooh, that's a cool cosmetic effect, Raven. And that's even before he even uses magic, right? This is just something that he's taught himself to do. Keeps the voice raspy and raspy smooth, I bet. Is that, so Karma, is that the type of voice that you enjoy listening to? His background feature? By the way, Eltran, as you, I'm continuing in this process, but as you tell your story, as you seek advice, input, or if you're just along for the journey to see what we do with our characters, how we link them, etc., I'll be sure to keep up and read even as I'm working over here. Oh, alright, so we all know what Karma digs here. Karma the goat. His voice is so raspy. Delcorin's going into a tomb. A carrion crawler appears you need a 15 or greater. Oh, disadvantage, Delcorin. 13 and 9 plus 4 is 9 plus 4 is 13. A carrion crawler. Oh no, yep. Delcorin gets eaten by a carrion crawler, and you weren't even dead yet. Either that or I don't know, maybe you just get drugged back off to its nest and, like, I don't know, it puts eggs in you or something. Right? It's like a bug. It's like a worm thing with like little like like little gribbly claws, and you're in a tomb, so it's going to do something like gross and necrotic. It's like those wasps that hunt down tarantulas, right? Oddly enough, a good raspy but smooth pace tone is lovely. Dark Wolf shouldn't smoke so much for a tiny guy. And, okay, Raven, go make sure you take care of your doggo. Volvo wants to go on a pleasant stroll through the forest. Clearly nothing will happen in a bad manner, except for the troll. Oh, you know, don't you hate it when trolls show up? You need a 12 or greater to defeat it, and you attack with a 1d20, adding a +3 modifier, Volvo. Karma says, oh lordy, those eggs. Yeah, I know. Always with a disadvantage, Del. Del, disadvantage, Corin. Volvo rolls 1d20, stops on a 6, +3 is 9, and unfortunately, Volvo becomes the meal of a troll. Oh. Yeah, you gave it a good shot, Volvo. Yeah. Porque! You were born with disadvantage. Well, Volvo, if you always want some fun, you can always, you know, ask for a res, please, and see what you come back as. Alright, our background feature is by popular demand. You can always find a place to perform, usually in an inn or tavern, but possibly with a circus, a theater, or even a noble's court. At such a place, you receive free lodging and food of a modest and comfortable standard, depending on the quality of the establishment, as long as you perform each night. In addition, your performance makes you something of a local figure. When strangers recognize you in a town where you have performed, they typically take a liking to you. So even though he's a neutral evil bad boy, They really like his style. You know, maybe in some way, like, he's the tsundere. Volvo asks for a res, please. You're dead, but not for long. When the spell ends, you arise to find yourself as a female tiefling ranger. You know what that reminds me of, Volvo? Have any of you seen Robin Hood Men in Tights? There's a scene where Robin is serenading Maid Marian, and what Volvo said is there's an implication. We are implying implications with that scene of something similar. I will say this: silhouettes are a wonderful source of comedy gold. Alright, let's find out our bad boy's personality here. We have a 1 and a 5. I know a story relevant to almost every situation. And 5. You know, I almost see this, we haven't finished his personality, but I almost see this as like kind of a, do you know the Mame Shiba deliveries? Like, it's the little, like, bean dog, you know, goes, Mame Shiba, and it just tells some kind of, like, awkward, like, it's a fact, but it's just sort of, like, blunt or weird or, I don't know, so I see him kind of delivering, like, these Mame Shiba facts. Anyway, 5, I love a good insult, even one directed at me. Ooh. He can eat up the boos and the hisses from the crowd, or, you know, he'll call you a name and he'll challenge you to like a dirty dozens, you know. So Karma, you can go like, oh well, look, you're not even 3 feet tall, or I don't know, whatever. Like, yeah, well, you're a goat, so what? Yeah, or I know this is I'm just keeping it like super PG, but I think we can all generate ideas. I'll leave that to you as the end user of this broadcast. Eltrion, are you still out there with what you're building and what you're doing? Because I'm definitely interested. I'd love to know what's going on with your story and your campaign, or the character that you've taken over. All right, so he knows the story, relevant. Ooh, got to get rid of that T. Relevant to almost every situation, and he loves a good insult, even one directed at him. He's almost like a Tyrion Lannister, isn't he? If you think about it, I mean, just stop a moment. He probably drinks and knows things. We have like a Tyrion Lannister going on. Volvo apparently doesn't like halflings. Well, King Von Ale would agree. Oh, yeah, so Eltrion, there is a character limit. Sorry about that. It would need to get broken up into parts. Also, Eltrion, if you would like, we do have a Discord. If you want to share your story on there, you can join us on Discord also. And we have a Tales from the Tabletop section if you want to copy and paste in there. And I can read it from Discord too. Whatever works best for you. But I'm super happy that you're aboard and you're letting us know what you're going through right now. Eltrion Genesis says, my character is a half-orc whose father was something called a Tanaruk. I thought it sounded cool, but later read that Tanaruk was an orc turned demonic by a fairly powerful creature. My armor and sword were damaged during an encounter with rust monsters. Oh, those things. And some of the best gear I could use for repairs were also a bit demonic in nature. Thankfully, nothing has happened because of it. So I'm trying not to bring attention to it. I could only imagine going a little crazy in battle and becoming a threat to the team. Ooh, instead of helping them. Now, would you be doing that as a roleplay prompt, or is there a mechanic imposed on this character where if you go, I don't know, you take 20 points of damage, does your DM want you to roll to keep your sanity or something? Or hopefully, if your DM is aware of this and has acknowledged it, then hopefully he or she is prepared to handle that situation and didn't just give you a murderous character and said, haha, you killed your friends. Hey, Raven, welcome back. But Eltrion, do you need some advice on how to keep things on the down low with your character? Like out of sight and mind of the other party members? Or do you have questions on well, this wasn't your character originally. Do you have questions on how you could get into the mentality of this character? Or what do you have in mind for us? How can we help you, Eltrion? All right, what is his ideal here? 6. Honesty. Art should reflect the soul. It should come from within and reveal who we really are. All right, so in that case, he's certainly finding insult to be an art. He's going to be maybe honest to a point. He doesn't care about insulting you, and you shouldn't care about insulting him. You know, if he thinks that you are, you know, a hideous giant, I mean, look, if you're over 3 feet, he might call you a hideous giant. He's going to call you that. If this character thinks that you're fat or skinny or dumb, or you speak common with a funny accent, or even if you're super pretty to him, or he thinks you have a good voice, he's going to reflect that in his work. He's going to play music directly from his soul for you. And if he's feeling angry, his music, his singing is going to come out as angry. It's going to come out as sad. It's going to come out as a part of who he is, and he's not afraid of expressing that. What is his bond? 2. Someone stole my precious instrument, and someday I'll get it back. Ooh, a possible villain for the campaign. Now, we don't know what his instrument is. Was it magical? Was it a hand-me-down? You know, when he was a sweet summer child, and he was learning to play on his first recorder, and he always kept that, even though he kind of turned bad boy later, but he wouldn't let anyone see his recorder. Maybe a crazed fan stole it. Maybe a rival band, maybe a former band member even stole it. I don't know. That's going to be part of our story that we're generating. Karma's into it. Karma gasps. Gasp. And what is this flaw? Because we are all flawed creatures. Number 2. I'm a sucker for a pretty face. Aw. Aww. All right, so yeah, so yeah, there you go, Karma. He swoons. Now, Karma, I will open this option up to you since you seem to be having an investment in this character. Do you want to keep him as an entertainer, or do you want to keep him, or do you want to have him take up the variant of the gladiator? I see your post, Eltron. I'll get to you in just a second. A gladiator is as much an entertainer, as any minstrel or a circus performer, trained to make the arts of combat into a spectacle for the crowd to enjoy. This kind of flashy combat is your entertainer routine, though you might also have some skills as a tumbler or actor. Using your by popular demand feature, you can find a place to perform in any place that features combat for entertainment, perhaps a gladiatorial arena or a secret pit fighting club. You can replace the musical instrument in your equipment package with an inexpensive but unusual weapon, such as a trident or net. Do you want a lover or do you want a fighter? It's not necessarily that, you know, one or the other. But Karma, would you want this character to be more of the I can play, he'll actually play a couple instruments, because being a bard will also give him proficiency in another instrument. Do you want him to play instruments and sing and do all this other stuff? Or do you want him to be, you know, he can still keep singing, juggling, and fire breathing, but do you want him to instead maybe be proficient with a trident or some sort of, like a whip? Some kind of like a flashy gladiatorial weapon. So as you're deciding... Oh, you said no. All right, so maybe you've made your decision. Eltran says, this is my original character. They needed a fighter. Okay, so this is your character. I'm sorry if I misunderstood that. They needed a fighter, and the guy that left was a wizard. The DM hasn't noticed, I don't think. I'm just not bringing it up, but we do such little role play that it probably won't come up anyway. You're just learning more about interacting with other players and building a three-dimensional character and backstory. Well, number one, thank you. That is great of you to do. Is your DM and party, are you like newcomers to role-playing or D&D in general? Have you only been playing for a couple weeks or a month or a year? Or is this an older group, but maybe your group really just focuses on tactical combat, kicking in the door, killing the monsters, and is more about the crunch of the numbers than the fluff of the role-play and the storytelling? In either case, Eltrion, you know, I have a very biased opinion. Thank you for wanting to be involved in your character, to breathe life into your character, and to go from there. And hopefully, maybe as you're lending at least half an ear to what we're doing here, that is the primary focus. We want our characters to be a part of the world, not, you know, hacking apart the world. Alright, so it looks like Karma still doesn't want him to be a gladiator. So tridents and whips and nets are off the table. Cool. Hey, you know, that would be fancy, right? You know, think of him on stage. He wants to... You have a front row seat and he wants to get your opinion. So, like, he like, hits the stage, you know, like, whoop, and, you know, he goes, crack-a-paw. And you, like, look up and like, oh, you know, or he uses it as a sound effect, or he uses a whip as percussion or something like that. Okay, now let's go to our races and look up halflings. I love that picture every time it comes up. All right, as a halfling, our dexterity, we're going to get a 2 no matter which halfling we are, because we are nimble little people, very literally. Our size, we are small. SMOLs, we are small. We get 25 feet of movement, which means our swim... Whoop! Oh, these are our hit die. Whew, he's not level 25. Hang on, hang on. We can climb 12, swim 12, and we do not get to fly unless we're on some cool wire rig on a stage. Think, you know, like Uncle Jesse and the Rippers when he was the vulture, right? And they lifted him up on stage, and he's like... If any of you remember the old Full House episodes. Alright, as a race, he gets lucky. A PG-13. When you roll a 1 on an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw, you can re-roll the die and must use the new roll. That is pretty lucky. He is also brave. You have advantage on saving throws against being frightened. Also, he gets Halfling Nimbleness. You can move through the space of any creature that is of a size larger than yours. So he wants to jump off the stage. He's just going to, like, you know, run around you all. And, you know, he's not crowd surfing. He's crowd tunneling, I guess is a good way to put it. So make sure that you make sure you're either wearing pantaloons or you put on your fresh knickers, because our bad boy here, he's brave. Languages, he gets Common and Halfling. The Halfling language isn't secret, but Halflings are loath to share with others. They write very little, so they don't have a rich body of literature. Their oral tradition, however, is strong. Almost all Halflings speak Common to converse with people in whose lands they dwell, through which they're traveling. And now, as a Stout Halfling, write down, yaw. As a Stout Halfling, we're kind of like we're cousins to dwarves. We do get a resistance to poison. That's right up here. You see IRV for immunity, resistance, and vulnerability. We do get resistance to poison, so we will click that in. And we have advantage on saving throws. So advantages versus poison. And we get to increase our constitution by 1. So, you know, he's a healthy little dude. All right. That's interesting. Oh, what are you talking about, Karma? What in particular caught your interest? Unfortunately, with the 10-second delay and me kind of eyeing back and forth, I can lose the immediate context. Eltrion Genesis says, the group has been playing for about 7 months and are focused on dungeon dives, taking down monsters, and finding loot. I'm just preparing for a game I might join after this one, that I'd expect to at least be a little bit different due to having a different DM. I appreciate you letting me listen in. I think I can learn a lot from your style of character creation. Well, I appreciate that, Eltrion. And I will tell you this. The group that you're in right now that is focused more on tactical combat. D&D it's great for that. You know, a part of the system is tactical combat. And actually, we had a conversation in this about the channel. Compared to other role-playing games, D&D is more tactical and combat heavy. Or at least it's meant to be. That being said, if your group is mostly tactical and you want to bring in a little bit of role-playing, you can bring that kind of infectious spirit to the others by simply asking questions in character, by actually role-playing through things, by prompting the DM. You know, the DM will say, okay, you kick open the door and there's a troll in the room. Everyone roll initiative. And you can say, all right, so what about... like, tell me about this room. What's in here? And of course, you know, your DM or the other players might look at you and be like, look, it's a stone room. What does it matter? This is our, you know, this is our arena that we're fighting in. You can say, no, I get that. I want this fight. I want to fight this troll. But are there buckets around? Is there rope? Is it an old torture room? Is it the bathroom? Is it a well? Is it a bedroom? And all of a sudden, you can still bring role-playing to combat. Number one, instead of just saying, like, I hit or miss, you can describe your swings and your attacks. If you get hit in a voice or an accent, you can go, oh, that hurt! Something along those lines. Also, if your DM is describing to you this room, use elements of the room in combat. You know, if you're proficient with a sword, yeah, use your sword. You don't have to, I don't know, just grab a bucket and bonk someone over the head with it, though you can. Or let's say that there's a bucket in a bedroom. Well, I mean, in these days, I think we can understand what that bucket is used for. And whether you're fighting a troll or not, would they want a bucket of night soil, we'll put it politely, to be thrown on them? Maybe this would give him disadvantage on a couple swings, and that could save your party members. Or give your party members advantage versus it because it's going like, ugh. You can easily bring role-playing to a combat-heavy game without being super distracting, and you know what? That might That might plant the seed in the competitive minds of your party members and even your DM. Maybe they want to learn more about what's in this room. Maybe they want to start asking more questions about the elements that are around them and see it not just as battlefield conditions, but opportunities. Oh, Karma, the crowd tunneling. I'm glad that you do find that to be polite, Goat. And so Eltrion, I think you have a lot of possibility in this group, let alone in the other group that you're going to go to, and maybe that'll intrinsically be more roleplay heavy. But at the same time, maybe you can then bring in some more tactical combat, you know, to them, and you're kind of this like Libra between the two. You're this balancing force between the two groups. Hopefully, this advice is inspiring and helpful to you in some way. Where was I? Oh yeah, we finished our racial traits here. 2 dex, 1 con. Let's collapse this and come back down to our handy dandy bard. We're gonna get d8s. So here we go as hit dice. Here's our d8s. We're level 12, so we get a total of 12 of them. We've used 0, and we're not multi-class, so we're gonna 0 this stuff out right here. We don't need it. Forget about it. We also get 0 dark vision, being a halfling. You're very welcome, Eltrion. This is what we do in the channel. If it's not, even if it's not advice that I give you, other people in this channel might have other stories and tactics for you to try. And you can always bring up these questions and concerns in chat, and you might get a couple different angles on the same problem. So, you know, welcome to the community. If you think we're worth following, please give us a follow and sit at our table with us right here. We're at a table. We're sitting in a game store. We're a big bunch of unrepentant nerds sitting at a table and talking about things that technically don't exist, yet we're talking about them with such clarity. Like, you could, it's coming alive before you, right? You know, you can effectively smell the pressed goat leaf that he carries, you know, maybe in his pocket. And before our bard here performs, maybe he reaches in, takes a whiff of the goat leaf, and puts it back in his pocket. Did you just imagine that up here? Maybe you imagined your favorite herb or a favorite smell as what goat leaf would smell like, or look like, or taste like. If I described that we have a halfling bard who's crowd tunneling instead of crowd surfing, you know, making ladies and guys alike go woo and blush. Hey, so all right, Eltron imagined cilantro. Oh no. Well, what did you imagine, Karma? Did you imagine maybe a big fragrant leaf or something, like I don't know, if like hibiscus or but Eltrion, it looks like you and Goat here. Goat loathes cilantro. Oh. Raven imagined mint. What did you all imagine? What is goat leaf to you? What is our bad boy bard pulling out of his pocket? And he gives the nod to the crowd. Everyone holds their breath. And then he sings. Karma wants a musty, faint... Ooh, a eucalyptus smell. Goat leaf sounds like a not-so-legal herb. Maybe. Maybe it's not. Maybe because he's resistant to poison and he's a bad boy, right? You know, not everyone is allergic to things like poison ivy. What if, to like show off, right, he has this poison resistance? What if goat leaf is like a poison ivy leaf and he just goes out and he's like right on the forehead, like a cinnamon gum wrapper, because he's taking that challenge of the burn. And so, you know, he takes out an obviously like a poison leaf and is like, yeah, you know, on the forehead, or he puts it back in. And you're like, gasp, that was poison ivy. And the whole time, like, he's playing and he's resisting the effects of the poison ivy. Yeah! or it could be a very fine herb. Now, granted, this was given to him as a token, but maybe Goatleaf appreciates the fact that he's so resilient, right? Oh, Hakora, I've seen that stuff around. When I go to, I guess the closest thing to like a Chinatown area is in Cleveland for me. And there's a market that sells a lot of various Oriental, kind of the catch-all term for China, Japan, Korea, a lot of the regional stuff. And I saw a packet of that, and I was absolutely I'm like, oh, this is wonderful. I mean, admittedly, I had my curiosities too, Hakora. But if you do give it a try and you're willing to, let us know how it works. Oh gosh, you all are too much. Also, I don't know if you made Goat blush, but oh, they sell tea of it on Amazon. All right. Yeah, we'll get back to Karma. What was that I was singing when you first hung out in the channel? I've seen a goat blush, but I ain't never seen an elephant fly. Oh, you have it in a hippie store down the road? Oh, very nice. Okay. Obviously, we're going to give him a high charisma, because that's what bards do. Do we want him to be a strength? Do we want him to be a strength, a strength bard or a dex bard? We can go either, because being in the College of Valor is more of like a battle bard, right? He's not afraid to get his hands dirty. He's in the mix. He gets proficiencies with medium armor, shields, and martial weapons. He inspires other people in battle. He's going to even get an extra attack. That kind of a thing. So I would almost say we can make him a strength bard. But if we can still build him as a battle bard with dex, and he can still max out, we can still make it so he maxes out his medium armor, and he is wielding... Whoa, Bobicus! Thank you! That means a lot to me, man. Dude. I really appreciate that. Yeah, thank you, Hakora. No, Eltreon, it isn't. Though you might find it in a particular 3.5 splat book. Yes, there is a particular 3rd edition book that might have that as a something or another in it. Yeah, look at that. Aw. Yeah, Bobicus, you even got Karma the Goat going, ah. Karma. Karma, I'm calling you out. Do you want him to be a strength bard or a dex bard? Is he more like nimbly bimbly, loosey goosey? Or is he like too damn swole and didn't miss a leg day? Alright, so Karma wants strong fingers. Alright. We'll make strength then a part of who he is, and we won't make his dex as important. It mixes interesting with everything he has going. We want interesting characters, and you know what? Even at the tabletop, yeah. All right, with an exception, the type of game that Eltreon's current group is going through is very much D&D. And those players may be min-maxing their characters, every stat is perfect, and they're making full, efficient use of the mechanics of the game. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that. If that's what you want to play, and you're having fun, and you like the challenge of the math and the cutting, bleeding edge of, how much damage output, what are the maximum effective spells, my strategic thinking, or we're treating this like a shonen manga, right? Like everyone has a response for something and they're fighting at, these different power levels, and you haven't even seen my final trick, and I guess I have to unleash myself fully kind of a thing. I'm not really even satirizing that. Look, I'm a big old weeaboo. I watch anime. I read manga. A lot of it. A room in my house is called the library. Hashtag just saying. I'm sorry, I kind of lost my point there because Eltrion, I blame you. My viewer interaction overtook my own personal thoughts. Jeez. But Eltrion, so we're making a team of bards as part of a challenge. Last week I mentioned that in D&D 5th edition, you can have a team of all the same class, and you will have completely different characters still, because of the race options, the archetype options of the classes, of your background, and other features like that. And so Dark Wolf said, well, why don't we make a team of bards? And I said, okay, so what we'll do is we'll challenge ourselves, and we'll make a band. We'll make a band of bards. And so every week we make 5 characters. 4 of them we're going to guarantee will be bards. And the other one, I don't know. What if it's a barbarian? He lifts their equipment, right? He's the roadie. It could be another bard. Who knows? It could be a wizard. Maybe that's their manager. But we're going to challenge ourselves to make functional characters along the lines of a theme, while showing off we can have 4 of the same class, and the party will be vastly different. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I was getting into, like, DPR, damage per round parties, versus just, you know, fluffy, feel-good parties. That kind of a thing. Okay, we're going to get some abilities from our class. Here's our hit die. We already have that. Light armor proficiency. Oh, yeah, because we're talking about being a strength bard. We are going to get proficiency with simple. We will get it also with martial. I'm just pre-putting that for the College of Valor. And hand crossbows. So we get little pew-pews. We are also going to get 3 instruments of our choice. Instrument X4. Oh, by the way, if we go back to Elspeth von Elderberry, or Eve, EVE here, she's going to get the same thing, too, as we're going to give her Instrument X3. And we'll explore... Let's not worry about the instruments just yet. Let's get the band together first, and then we'll say what they do. All right, he's going to get 4 different instruments. Let's see. What else is he going to get down here in proficiencies? Dexterity and charisma saving throws. And he's going to get 3 skills on top of... I'm going to make a note down here that he's going to get 3x skills. We don't need to worry about that just yet. Just in case he's going to get some others. He's also going to get a rapier, a longsword, or a simple weapon. Well, I think we can give him a longsword, because we're going to make him a strength bard. So longswords, got to have that muscle. We're going to give him an entertainer pack. We will give him some kind of... he'll start with 1 instrument, though he can play several. There we go. And remember, we got to come up with some kind of a costume for him. What would he dress up as? Like, what would be... It's not a true alter ego as per the charlatan background, but does he have a stage ego? Does he have a stage presence? Is he like a visual K style, like a Japanese rocker? Right? Or like, you know, think like Kiss. Does he wear a costume and have makeup and all that when he performs? Or does he perform normally, but his costume is for when he's not performing, so he can repel fangirls like Goat? Yeah, Eltrion, oddly enough, AC/DC works for D&D. That is true. Look, armor class, AC, difficulty class, DC. That's awesome. Here, for that pun, Eltrion, and especially because you're new here, I'm going to give you some extra experience points, and you can use those to play some games and have fun. So, for instance, if you need some roleplay prompts, go ahead, Eltrion, and type in ! random planes. Plains, all one word. So Karma would almost be like a greatsword for him. But you know what? He's got the muscles, and he's wielding that longsword like no one's business. Oh, not like Outer Plains or an airplane. Plain, like the great rolling, yeah, like the great rolling fields. Shadzar, a random snake on a plane. A boa constrictor leaps out. All right, Eltrion, a nearing rustle. A rabbit? Jumping from the grass is a bandit gang. Only an 8 or greater can defeat it. You attack with disadvantage, rolling a +2 modifier. So, Eltrion, if it prompts you for advantage or disadvantage, roll exclamation point 2d20. If it ever tells you on these adventures to roll normally, that is exclamation point 1d20. Dark Wolf Carrot Snake on a plane. So she agrees. Alright, Eltrion rolls 5 and 9. 5 plus 2 is 7. Unfortunately, because you had disadvantage, you fall short of defeating the bandit gang. And, you know, they jump out and they say your GP or your HP. And you said nay, nay. And they said yay, yay. And they went and they murked you. So, unfortunately, Eltrion, they still got your gold and you lost your life. However, we're all friends here, and we can drag you back to a temple, and we swear we know a guy who can do a really good job of bringing you back to life. Type in exclamation point, res please. R-E-Z-P-L-Z, one word. Res please. Now, you don't always have to do this if you die. This is just a fun role-playing prompt. Eltrion says, you are dead, or you're dead but not for long. When the spell ends, you arise to find yourself as a female tiefling druid. Seems good. So, you may not have come out as you went in, but you're alive! Yeah, hey, Booba, that's true, another tiefling. Uh-oh, Dark Wolf, you better, you know, Dark Wolf, if he's coming back, well, he or she, is coming back as a tiefling, you might need to give the old, swish responsibly, lecture, because, look, you know, it's not birds and the bees, but you gotta have the talk if you have a tail. Let's see, Raven's going into the forest, an ogre jumps out, you attack with advantage, 16 and 12, oh, Raven brings down the ogre and earns 150 EXP. Yeah, you didn't even need the modifier. Eltrion says, I think having horns would help you get your point across. Oh, Eltrion, you're fitting in way too well in this group. Okay, where was I? Skills. Oh, yeah. Musical instrument, leather armor. And we are going to be getting a dagger. Yeah, swish responsibly. Alright. We will get to spellcasting. That's not as important right now, because we're still focusing on who our person is first. At level 12, our proficiency bonus is 4. Right? So I'm looking here and up at this information. We're going to get 4 cantrips. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4, 3, 3, 3. 3, 3, 3. 2 and 1. And we've used 0 of these, as we're using these as placeholders. There we go. All right, we will get Bardic Inspiration as a class feature. Now, Eltrion, as I go through and build these characters, I put in the name of the feature on the sheet. And I may not always go over what it does. If you want me to stop a moment and narrate it or answer a question about the features, just speak up and let me know, and I'll happily go back and do so. What do we have here? 5th, 10th. Okay, he's not 15th yet. So we are going to get 4... well, I guess we don't know how many times yet. We don't have a charisma modifier. Though it'll probably end up being 5. Because of the no stats. Or the no feats. So for right now, we'll just put Bardic, Inspiration, D10s. We're going to get a total of 5, and we've used 0. There we go. Dark Wolf. Oh, Dark Wolf is... Oh, you're going rogue here. Swish as you please. Oh my. We have a rogue swisher here. I think Karma should name him... Yep, what would you call... Karma, I want 2 things from you. Right? You're getting homework? Yes, you are. Karma, I'm calling you out. I want a name for this character, and I want the costume that he wears normally. I want you to describe it or just give a synopsis. And if you want, you can also give him a stage name that would go along with the costume. Like this ego or whatever. He is also going to get Jack of all trades. Oh, that reminds me. Back on Elspeth, all of the non-proficient skills we have to raise by 3 because Jack or Jill of all trades gives you half your proficiency in skills that you are not fully proficient in. So that means this is going to go up to a 7 acrobatics untrained, 7 stealth untrained. Oh no, that's a saving throw. That's not the same. This is going to go to a 4 arcana, 4 nature, 4 religion. Man, we're just handing out the bumps here. 5 animal handling, 5 insight, 5 medicine, 8 intimidation naturally. Okay, he's going to get the same thing. He's going to get Jack of all trades. We are also going to get Song of Rest. We already have our Bard College chosen. We're not worried about that. Expertise, we're going to get to choose 4 skills. And actually, you know what? Grants you features at 3rd and again at 6th. Oh, and 14th. Elspeth, Derek, I don't know if you're still out there. Elspeth is going to get this extra proficiency in 2 more skills that we don't already have. So I'm going to put that to a 6 and make a note. Add extra 2 expertise as a note. We'll go back and think of her after we're finished with this character. Pardon me. So he's going to get 4 skills that he's getting double proficiency in. Aye. ASI's ability score improvements. We are also going to get a font of inspiration. Or Raven. Raven, since you have an interest in our Elven character, if you want, if you think back or you want to see your sheet, you can tell me which 2 skills you think she'd have extra proficiency in. Because I think you were gunning for a couple ones that may not have been picked up front. So we have Font of Inspiration and also Counter Charm. Someone's trying to charm you and he says nay, nay, and he plays a power chord and it drives back the evil. He's also going to get some magical secrets. Okay, let me catch up a little bit. So, yep, you get homework. Bobika says, please swish responsibly. It is very difficult to unswish an overswished tail. That's true. Don't overtax your healers. Eltrion says, thank you. I've been researching a good many spells, skills, and feats in my spare time, so I have an idea of what I'd like to do with them when I get my next ASI. So I'm a bit familiar with a lot of general info. Okay. Well, I mean, in this case, this is probably bread and butter to you. Though we're going to treat the spells and other things and the skills as extensions of the personality, not just what we would like him to have because it'll cover something in the party. Like, we want his skills to be a reflection of who he is. And so Eltrion and others, get those in mind, because we still have to choose 3 skills to give him. And we're going to get some other things here too. Okay, speaking of things like that, here's our general our starting level 1 stat spread. I'm not going to worry about that. We should know that. If not, I'll make sure to repeat it. Though Goat is offering Roscoe Tealeaf, aka Leaf. Okay. You're paying half attention to the elf. Oh, no problem. The costume is tripping you up. Well, if you come up with something... You can choose athletics, investigation, survival, performance, or persuasion. Of those 5, 2 are going to get double proficiency. Athletics, investigation, survival, performance, persuasion. And remember, she's lived a good long while. She's a sailor. Never passes up a friendly wager. She stretches the truth for the sake of a good story. She likes earning and keeping respect. She has a thing against pirates. And she'll say anything to avoid having to do extra work. Alright. College of Valor. At 3rd level, we gain proficiency with medium armor, shields, and martial weapons. Light, medium, and shields. We then, from our archetype, get combat inspiration. We learn to inspire others in battle. A creature has a bardic inspiration die from you, can roll that die and add the number to a weapon damage roll it just made. Alternatively, when an attack roll is made against the creature, it can use its reaction roll to subtract. Or I guess to add its AC. It is also going to get an extra attack, meaning it can heft its longsword twice per round. And we're not quite high enough to get battle magic just yet. Oop. There you go. Okay. We have our character all but made. Now let's have his... We know who he is. We know generally the things that he's done, his attitude. Now, in order to catch him up to that point, we need to age him, right? We need to have him go through the process. What does he look like, sound like? Is he, we've decided he's kind of strong. Being a bard, having charisma be the highest to start would make sense. We also are going to have, if we're making him a strength-based, right? We want him to swing his longsword. We want him to wear medium armor. We should put our 14 in strength. Now, what's interesting, if we're going to have him wear medium armor... Here, let's collapse this real quick and go over to equipment. If you see here, medium armor, you do need... or you can have an additional maximum 2 bonus in Dex. Meaning that if we started him with a 12, he'll get the extra 2 for being a halfling. That'll put him at 14, and that will maximize his medium armor. So if we did that, that would put our 12 here, which means we can put a 13 in something else. No problem, Raven. And what else is that? Well, I'm sorry. I should be writing that. I should be writing that up here so we can put the mod. We can put the mod in the big bubble. We get 3 skills to train him in. All right, let's come back here. Here's our bard. We can choose any 3. So, I mean, Karma, you can have input here. For any of you who are out there, let's look at his alignment, look at his personality. Which 3 skills do you think this character would be trained in? He knows a story relevant to almost every situation. He loves a good insult, even one directed at him. I don't know, is that intimidation? Is the know a good story history? Honesty. Art should reflect the soul. It should come from within to reveal who we really are. Is that kind of a performance? Though I think we already have performance. Someone stole my precious instrument. Someday I'll get it back. What would be a skill associated with that? He's a sucker for a pretty face. So, Karma, you better, you know, bat those eyelashes over those rectangular pupils you have. And he'll be a sucker for you. So here's the skills. He's already trained in acrobatics and performance, right? He can already eat fire, juggle, and he's a good singer. What about his personality is going to lend him to the skills that he'll intrinsically have? They can be repetitive. Look, we're making bards. We're going to have repetitive skills. So let's focus on who is he? What has he done? What is he good at doing? Volvo's thinking investigation. So if we put that there, that might mean that he's actively looking into getting things back. Yep, Raven, while people are thinking, here's her sheet. Karma, you think that he should know history? Although Karma, wisdom is a stat, not a skill. Though there are skills within wisdom if you wanted to give them to him. Oh, second page? Sorry. And yeah, Volvo, I mean, being able to piece together clues and such. Oh, well, history's under intelligence, Karma. Okay, so Raven says that she should super specialize in survival. Okay. We'll put that in survival, and we'll give her another 6, putting her survival at 14. Yeah, performance or persuasion if you're torn. Like, if it's persuasion, maybe she, like, if it's a tiebreaker for you, Raven, the thing that keeps a ship together is mutual respect between captain and crew. Either could work, right? You play a song and everyone feels better, or you're trying to persuade no mutiny, or you're trying to persuade the captain to say, look, you've been working the men, you know, to their finger bones. Can you lay off and give us a day? He doesn't seem like he's actively worried about the instrument. He just knows he'll get it back one day. That's true. Maybe he's just really upset with it, and if he comes across it, then he'll get it. That could be the case, Karma. We still need to give him one more skill. So what would you like, Karma? Do you still want to see history right here? History's under intelligence. Do you still want him to know history, or do you want him to know intimidation? You know, intimidation could come through musically, right? If he breathes fire and he's willing to just come up to you and say, like, lady, look, I gotta know, like, are you fat or pregnant? Because I have a bet. I am not trying to insult anyone out there. This is Role-playing! But intimidation can be a very forward, blunt thing, if you think that's going to reflect his personality. Knowledge, nature. Nature is being able to identify things, like, that mushroom is poisonous. That mushroom is not poisonous. That is an elk. That is a moose. It is the scientific knowledge of nature. It is geography and biology and things kind of like that. Whereas survival is more of an instinctual, I know where to find water. I can't tell you how water tables work, but I know that there's water usually found at the base of mountains or something like that. Man, Raven's being a slave driver over here. All right, there you go. Madame. That was a very well done roll of the R. Why, thank you, Eltrion. Genesis is going on a random plains adventure. Alright, you roll at advantage, 6 and 16, and you win it. The lion pops out, and Eltrion puts it down. Congrats. All right, so what are we thinking? Karma, did you take back your history? Hakora, don't worry about it. You're fine. Oh, you want to keep history? Okay, so he gets one more. Eltrion, Lion Tamer Genesis. Come on, Karma, you want the bad boy? Let's go intimidation. Oh, you want... Oh, that medicine can work too. We can give him medicine. You know, so he can provide CPR to all his fans that swoon. Or he can do very cruel things when he's on tour to people. You know, you got to know about the body to be able to sing about the pain and anguish. Now, he doesn't have to be that kind of a singer. Maybe he's actually a really romantic person. I don't know. Okay, Karma's throwing medicine out there, and you know what? That is crazy enough to work. He has knowledge medicine. I got you, Hakora. I'm addressing Hakora. You cannot see it, but we're having a conversation. Well, of course, lots of magic. I'll just let you pretend. Well, not you, Hakora. Everyone else. Raven says, they're tied. Well, since its performance is high, I think I'm going to go with persuasion. Performance as a bard will come naturally anyway. And since she tries to get out of work, I'm thinking she's picked up some powers of persuasion over the years. There you go. There you go. Persuasion it is. And this is going to go up to a 17. Oh, man. Grandma here is going to totally get out of her chores. Okay. Yeah, I know. Me and my my censoring ways. All right. So, we chose his skills based on his personality, not his compatibility with Elspeth or anyone else we're going to generate. This is who he is as an individual. Now we can look and say, all right, so charisma, that was important. His strength was going to be important too, because we're putting some combat skill behind what he's doing. We're going to give him some tough arms. Dexterity is going to be kind of important, especially because he's getting acrobatics. Now he does have 2 skills in intelligence, so maybe dropping our 13 here would be important. So, oh, I'm sorry, wrong state, wrong bubble. 15, 14, 13, 12. We could go... Well, so let's say that we do that. Karma, so let's say if we removed investigation and Volvo, I'll let you and Volvo make up afterwards. If we did replace investigation, what would you want him to have otherwise? And Raven is suggesting the 10 in wisdom and then another 8 in constitution. Which can work because that'll bump him to a 9 and then we can actually address that. Volvo, I know you ain't. Sorry, Karma. Well, at least Karma's asking. But Volvo, you wanted investigation along the methods and measures that you gave. Are you wanting to give up your investigation to Goat's religion? And also, Karma, why would you think that this character, is he religious? I mean, just because he's a bad boy or evil, he's a Diet Coke of evil. Just because he's evil or whatever doesn't mean that he doesn't have a knowledge of faith, or even he's not faithful himself in some way. All right, well, I'll give it to Karma, but I want her to explain why this character is proficient in religion. Although, Volvo, if you want to make Karma earn it, exclamation point duel space Karma the Goat space a number. Alright, so if we do things like this, this is going to bring his dexterity to 14. We'll get rid of that. That'll bring his con up to 9. We'll get rid of that. This is level 1 stats. He is going to get 3 stat bumps at 4, 8, and 12. And remember, plus 2 to 1 or plus 1 to 2. His first one, what we could probably do is bump that to 16 and bump his con to 10. And then if you want, we can cap him out at 20 charisma. Like that. And there's his 3. And so he's fully charisma'd out. He has a decent strength, and he is maxing out his medium armor dexterity bonus. Oh, don't worry about the numbers. Hakora, the numbers are just placeholders for our role-playing anyway. Don't worry about it. Just relax, find your zen happy place, listen to the sound of the bells and the water. Cora, you're something else. Volvo. Come on, Karma. Volvo's waiting for your answer. You feel religion keeps moving forward for something greater, which he seems like a good guy lost in faces and creativity. Ah. Karma, how dare you create a 3-dimensional character out of a bunch of stats and numbers? We need to make sure we are maximizing damage per round, and this is an extremely inefficient build for that. I am disappointed. Oh no, Volvo's having goat for dinner. All right. Now we can fill in some numbers. Oh, he's going to get expertise, which is double proficiency in 4 skills. So Hakora, you are blinded by numbers, but that's not important. Of the concept of this character we're talking about, look at the skills that have the bubble filled in next to them. acrobatics, history, investigation, religion, medicine, and performance. Name one of those that you think he'd be really good at doing. And I also want you to tell me why you think he'd be really good at that. Just as a side note. Homework! Haha, gotcha! I'm so mean. Hakora, Constitution is an ability that doesn't even have a radio button filled in next to it. I'm talking about the skills that are here. These are the skills he's especially good at doing, and I want you to choose one of them that he's super duper good at doing. Acrobatics, history, investigation, religion. I'm sorry, we replaced investigation. History, religion, medicine, or performance. It's no problem, Hakora. I will repeat it, and look at this. I mean, I've had to go back to Raven how many times now? Or Elspeth? I'm just kidding, Raven. We're keeping things jovial. We're keeping things jocular. We are engaging in japery and jokes and going for the jugular of good things. I'm trying. She is 550. Oh, look at that. Oh, she just passed her 555th birthday. I bet that was a celebration. Anyway, she's 556. Also, for any of you out there, we have 3 more skills he can be super good at. But I'm going to pick on Hakora because she asked for it. And I want her to give me one skill of this character that he's going to be better at than the others. Here, I'll even zoom in a little bit for you. Okay, disregard the diamonds, right? The dexterity and charisma diamonds. No go. I want you to look at these little filled in radio buttons right here. Okay? Which one is he going to be really good at doing? Raven has a thing for elves. I don't blame you. You and King would get along nicely as long as the correct answer is high elf. Which she is. Maybe a drow, you know. But that's maybe after, you know, a couple drinks and... Yeah, I bet Triple 5 is a grand celebration. Whew. Okay, so Hakora. Perception is not filled in at all. We're looking... here. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. This is my fault. I did this for Raven. I should do it for you. There we go. Let's go with that. I should have done it that way because, look, sometimes I have the screen right in my face in 4K. And by the time it gets squeezed down and shipped out to you, especially because Hakora lives halfway across the world right now. I mean, probably not just a right now situation, but she lives halfway across the world. It's my fault if I was misunderestimating the quality of the PDF for you. Yep, no problem. And if any of you have trouble with this, let me know. I don't mind zooming in and scrolling around and doing that. Okay, so Hakora thinks that he's super de-duper trained in history. Now, what is giving you that impression, Hakora? What's giving you the history vibe? Also, everyone out there, this is an open question. If you're watching this, if you're lurking, if you've been actively chatting, if you're following along with this character, we still have 3 more skills that we need to give an expertise to, which is going to give him double proficiency in that skill. So, history's off the table. We get to choose 3 more from acrobatics, religion, medicine, and performance. Raven's thinking performance. He's a juggler, fire eater, and a singer. That's a good justification. Oh, come on. There we go. He's well-traveled? Yeah, probably so, Hikora. All right, we get 2 more. We get 2 more. Whoop. Careful, he's giving you the pink eye. You need to be a proper gentleman. Do I need to buy one of those little jewels that hang on a string on your back there to cover up? Raven's thinking acrobatics, right? Because he's a juggler? Ah, the clues are before you. All right, thank you for having some discretion, Raichi. All right. Volvo, we have performance. We have acrobatics, history. Don't eat that. Now we get 1 more. He can be an expertise in religion or medicine. Don't eat that. Over here. Raven also says medicine. Why do you say medicine, Raven? Karma's thinking religion. Volvo. Oh, Volvo's saying medicine and siding with Raven. Oh no, I'm gonna do it. Oh, there it is. Raven's saying juggling those things on fire, he's probably burned himself several times, or if he's juggled anything dangerous. Yep, sorry, Karma, you got teamed up on, and Raven has a really good justification. Medicine, gotta have that goat leaf. Well, there we go. Now we can start filling in the numbers, right? So he has a +2 modifier here. 2 and 2, that was nice and easy. In Dexterity, it's the same, 2, 2. And saving throw, we're adding a proficiency, which is 4. So here's 6. Oh, there's the Eye of Sauron. Don't look. Don't look. He's getting double proficiency plus his modifier, so he's going to have a 10 in acrobatics. He's going to have a 0 in Constitution saving throws. Intelligence, 1, 1, 1, and 1. 1 plus 4 is 5 in religion. And in history, this is going to be 9. Wisdom is going to be 0s almost all the way down the board. However, he's gotten really good at tending his own wounds. And he has an 8, despite having a 0 modifier in wisdom. That's pretty good. 5 plus 4 is 9 in his charisma saving throw. 5 deception, 5 intimidation, 5 persuasion, and 4 plus 4 is 8 plus 5, and a 13 in performance. Hey, thank you. I really appreciate that. And I'm glad that we've earned your attention and your time and your trust, Eltrion. That's what we strive for here. Not just me as a broadcaster, but we as a community as we go through the process. It's no problem. No problem at all. Alright, so now that we've filled in these numbers, are we getting... yes, we have numbers. Oh, dreaded numbers. We do need crunch to go with the fluff. Are you getting a better picture now for who Roscoe is? His life, his personality, his demeanor, how he carries himself, the things he says, the things he does, and how good he is at both. And actually here, if you thought he's good enough here... Bing, 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 bing. Jack of all trades. We get to add half of our proficiency again to skills that we are not proficient in. Sleight of hand, 4. Stealth, 4. Athletics, 4. Oh, that does not affect a saving throw. Shame on me. Shame on me. 3 Arcana, 3 Investigation. Oh, not 31. 3 Nature. We're going to actually get 2 Animal Handling, 2 Insight, 2 Perception, 2 Survival. We're going to get 7 Deception, 7 Intimidation, and 7 Persuasion. Our passive Persuasion is 10 plus our Perception modifier. And passive Perception is... Look, I'm talking to you in the camera. I'm making eye contact with the camera, and vicariously I'm making eye contact with you. We're talking, we have ambient music going on, and, you know, we're having a conversation and thinking of other things. Yet, if my front door were to open, without needing to break my conversation, I could hear that open. That's passive perception. That's what you catch going on in the background. Is rain hitting your window? Do you hear a noisy truck or a motorcycle going down your road outside your house? Even when you're having a conversation, or you're watching TV, or playing video games, or reading a book. That's what that reflects. Volvo has to sleep and you don't want to. Oh, Volvo, take care, man. It was great having you in here. I appreciate your contribution. You left a good thumbprint on the character here. And you know what? You gave a little grief to the goat, but I'm sure that will make her an even better goat in the future. So yeah, thank you and for being a part of our conversation tonight, Volvo. Raven says, plus if he's a bad boy, who knows what he's gotten himself into. Oh my. Volvo, no more loves for you, Waggles Hoof. Oh, you all are something else. Alright, now let's calculate our hit points. At first level, we get all 8 hit points of being a bard. Every level, you also get to add your Constitution modifier. Well, this is 0, so he's not going to get any bonus HP. But let's say his Constitution we got a +1 modifier. He would suddenly get 12 hit points, 1 for each level. Hopefully that makes sense. So anyway, so that's 8 starting, plus 0 from his con mod. Whoops. Plus 11 more levels, right? We have our first level already taken care of, and he's level 12. So he has 11 levels of half plus 1 of his hit die, which is 5, right? He has a D8, half of 8 is 4, plus 1 is 5. That is the super easy peasy lemon squeezy way to calculate hit points. It's consistent, you know what you're getting, and things stay at a pretty steady, you know, escalation for leveling up. If you want to roll your die, you can. Just talk it out with your DM. Maybe your DM will even give you full HD every single level. Oh, it's up to you all. So we look at our math here, and we have 55 plus 0, so it's 55 plus 8. We have 63 hit points. Dun, 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 dun. Now we can calculate our spell stuffs. Our DC is going to be 8 plus proficiency, which is 4. That's 12 plus 5, because that is the ability from which we cast. The difficulty to overcome his spell effects is 17, and if he needs to roll to attack with a spell, that is his modifier plus his proficiency. So he's rolling at a +9 to hit with his pew-pew spells. Alright, this is taken care of. I made a note that his starting package gave him leather. He could technically wear medium armor and get his +2 dex, and he can wear a shield. So he's not in full plate, you know, he's not a knight in shining armor, but he certainly can wear a heavier armor and still be effective in combat. Scandalous. Scandalous, says Eltrion. Alright, so really, we'll do the magic. In fact, I'm gonna take another break here, about another 5-10 minute break, and we'll come back and we'll talk about magic. Although, you know, whatever. We've made 2 characters. We'll add details to them. We can also, it's open Q&A. We can talk about whatever's going on, current events, IRL, in games. We can explore the characters we've already made. Karma, I still need you to give me a costume slash... Like, what is the costume? Is this a stage ego? Or does he present himself fully on stage, but he wears a costume off stage? Maybe to hide himself from other people? But I want you to think of that as I go on break, and then we'll fill that in when we come back, okay? Yep, you have homework.